Guys, grab paints, spatulas, brushes, everything that's available, and let's create together. So, let's go. For this work, basically, canvas is excellent. If you're not going to cover it with resin, even if you do cover it with resin, if the work isn't big, you can basically use cardboard. If you arrange it on a stretcher, nothing will happen to it. The first stage of underpainting in its classical sense, is just such a background and color, and this is such a hint. We'll have a sketch for our next work. I will try to do it with three-dimensional elements, so it will not be possible to cover it with resin everywhere. But I will think about it. Maybe I will cover the middle with resin, but I haven't decided yet. So I take white, the acrylic should be dense. Now I'm just needing the gray background. Oh, sorry for the great sound. So I add white and see how thick enough I apply it, guys. Add a little bit of blue, just a drop. Why so thick? To create the relief, I'm going to mix some colors and see what we get. I need a color that's almost dark gray, but that's still not enough. I need more. Here's more white, a little more black, and a little blue. You can create a background with any desired temperature. I'm creating it now. Actually, I had some doubts. I wanted to go for a gold leaf next. I'm getting ahead of myself here and telling you. But I wanted to do it with a gold background, but I don't want to use a gold background now. I want to go with silver. And this will be a sort of sunset city, although it would be logical to go with gold. But I want to... I haven't seen anything like this yet, so I'm going to darken it more with some black. Again, you can control the darkness to your preference. You don't necessarily need to follow this tone. And I heard a great idea once. If it asks, your hand might ask for a specific shade, and sometimes it might go just there. It's so cold or warm, or as I'm saying now, I do it in silver. Doesn't mean you have to do it in silver. You do as you feel, as you want. It's your handwriting, regardless of what we repeat, my drawing, but the handwriting is yours, and your work will be. So now look why there is so much acrylic, and I will dry the underpainting, I think, all night. There's so much acrylic in order to create a texture, as I said at the beginning. And this texture will be our hint. Take a palette knife. You can use a palette knife or maybe some ruler, maybe even some sharp object, a knife or something else. But if you often draw and often work, then of course I advise you to buy a palette knife. It's convenient to work with a palette knife. So it's now logical to break down our work. This idea that I'm drawing, I originally had it on a square and a rectangle, but now for you, I want to do it on a circle and not on a small work, because sometimes the story is not that cool if it is made on a small scale. That's exactly what I want to check, whether this is about this topic or not. Now let's go. Let's make zonality. Here we will have, roughly speaking, the first part of the building. You see, it's interesting, everything that I do. Well, now it will be seen according to the logical distribution, guys. Look, you can fill the entire space, yes, but I will have whales here, and it is better to distribute them somehow so that, there is such a concept of the golden section, that is, the occupancy should occupy a certain amount of space for you. That is, on this side, I will have fewer buildings than on the left side. So I did here for me. They are coming. That is, somewhere here we will already have a horizon. So mark it like this. And of course, the buildings, as we look deep. The streets, yes, they look, well, they are shrinking our houses. That's why they can be made like this. Well, we try to keep the lines evenly. Here's the same story, and here it will be like this. We'll move it a little bit here, and here with me there will be a tower, not a tower, but a building just with a spire in the first basement so that it is even thicker. You can add PVA glue more than building acrylic. For example, here is a tower, its spire ends somewhere here. Leave air for the spire, yes, so that it does not rest like this and divide the turret. Now we need to make more of this division. This will create volume for our next drawings, our sidelines. You see, I'm a little bit of I make them by tilting. This will create an illusion for you, the illusion of the movement of the city. There will be balconies, but this will still change in the drawing further later. And here you can see some elements of the building. Leave everything to dry when the acrylic has dried with a thin layer of flat. I apply glue for patali with a wide brush. I bought just random in Leonardo for patali along with look. I've applied silver leafing inconsistently to the bottom of the scene where the road will be, in the middle where clouds recede into the horizon, and a bit on the building. When you finish watching this lesson, you'll understand for yourself where you want to apply the leafing. On the building because of the windows, on the sky so it will gleam, on the street due to the headlights' glare. In general, for me, if you plan to cover this work in leafing, don't make it three-dimensional. I'm not going to cover it with resin. I want to create three-dimensionality directly using acrylic paint. We need brushes and palette knives. If you have palette knives, they will also be useful. I bought a wide round one and a very small flat one from a nail store, along with 2 palette knives. We need to apply the paint and create a mixture. You can do this immediately with a palette knife. Now, let's use it. I'm mixing white, a touch of dark blue, and a hint of black. That's where our tower is located. Now, with the help of the border we created with the palette knife, we're marking our tower. This is what we're doing, the edge of our tower. You might want to use a brush if that's easier for you. Take a look yourself. It's just easier for us to make mass sticks. You see, here are clear layouts. We put it once, did it? This will be the first tier. Why I did a portal. These will be the windows in our tier. You don't have to make them too clearly marked. Well, that is, here they are, and we will close them. Next, another one goes a little wider. Dip the palette knife in the tier. You can sketch a bit of our silver sketches like this. Here is the background at the back. I even like it this way, so it slightly reminds me there are windows. They are denser. I make it to the corner, to the extreme corner, to ours, which goes to the street, you see. Let's go through all the buildings. The corner. Here is our building, higher, lighter, and here is the same story. I leave the windows a little like this, with the same mixture that we did. Draw our silhouette, the silhouette of our building, not completely, but with such sketches. We have a gray background, so we calmly make sketches. A thin saw there is, and you can take a little black in this mixture to make shadows in such an arc larger, like this. There is, while we are doing it. Everything is fine, you will say yes. So next, with this bright mixture that we have, let's mark our street. This is where our building ended. Here will be our skyline. Here, and with a palette knife, we will extend our street a little. There are buildings somewhere, yes, which they look out. Somewhere on this side there is also a building, and you know how it goes to expand. This is how our street goes. That is, slightly to the right side, we direct the palette knife. In the middle to the straight side. From the left side to the left side, that is, we make a slight expansion, while now I indicate with white just this. Such a difference in the horizon. We leave the lower part for now. Let the acrylic dry, because we need to add more on top. Let's make side buildings according to the same principle. Only here, for example, here, where we added, and the building, here it is our lower small one. Here I take a flesh one. You can even with a mixture of blue, a little bit like this. You need to do it. Why? Because our street is diagonally along this line and we're already going up, I take that old mixture and make a small building also with. I leave a bit of silver. These will be our windows. I also make a mixture of white, blue, and gray, and you can add a bit of flesh color. To the end, you see, I don't mix it. Essentially, guys, you ask Natasha, I don't have a palette knife. I won't draw with a palette knife. Essentially, all of this can be drawn not with a palette knife. You can draw it with a brush. With all my actions, yes, like I do, replicate it. You'll get the same. Look how cool our previous folds are playing out. So whoever doubted their usefulness, they're certainly helping us now, and make them even deeper. I would make even more frequently and in more detail. I did not add PVA glue, and that is unfortunate because I'll free up myself a bit. Look what's another plus of a palette knife. You know, I am selling you on it. You need to buy a palette knife. No, well, anyone who draws knows that these tools, they create texture, they create the one you need. You can experiment, I don't know, create with forks, spoons. Now you see, from this straight line, I'm making horizontal lines where my windows will be. Here I want to make it more distinct. If the palette knife stumbles, don't try to draw there super perfectly. You see that this work is as abstract as it could be. In my view, the city is like the underpainting for the whales that glide above it. So I'm not trying to detail the city too much. I sketch it out just so you know. Right now I'm sketching it out because I'm keen on using a palette knife, not so much to create more of the city. And pay attention, lines. I've got horizontal, vertical, diagonal lines. It's crucial that your drawing looks realistic, not juvenile, yes, professional. observe these lines, analyze photographs. So many cities are sketched out this way. Grab them, study them, and avoid errors. Draw accurately. Here's one that I've got. I originally wanted to reach the sky, but something stalled me here. So this part of mine will be like this. I'll create a somewhat transparent building. Now I'll take a nude, a brown, mix them maybe over here. I don't know, a large shopping mall of some sort, which it glows. Let it be bright here. Now I'm going to add windows to this building with pure brown and a palette knife. We're going to make more cinnamon, more peach. Here we have a line on, it goes on an angle. Yes, we'll lower it a little here. This is where the gold leaf ends. It will also be our corner shopping center. Here we set a line. From it, we go down diagonally with a palette knife. And from the side, we go straight horizontally. There, we've created a corner. At the bottom, there will be one even straight line. With the same black, down diagonally, you can make brown more angular. Add movement like this. Our most central one, which we made, I'll add a little black to make it more gray. This building goes with an indent. There's a lot of it, but it's just... Here we create one line and also diagonally up. I dip the side of the palette knife in black paint. Here it is. Here you can... I'm quite satisfied. Now I'll add more detailed spots. Let's examine this lower section. Yes, I'm using a wide flat brush to draw the cars. The cars we'll draw, see, are rather abstract actually, and we're drawing them in purely black. We draw the spot where the headlights are, there it is. From there comes the gearbox. I am, of course, not well versed in car names. This is probably the hood. So here's the hood. The headlights are over here, there will be tire tracks here. Over here we make a direction. I will create several cars and then treat them with a palette knife. Alright, let's make another one behind. You can change the color, by the way. Let's also make a blue one with the headlights somewhere over there. And another one on this side, and also vary the sizes, lads. Let them be of different sizes and naturally of different colors. And I'm adding a mix of yellow and peach as well as a little bit of white. It should be a kind of glow. Here I place the palette knife of the farce, adding a slight glare to the glass. Our headlights are extending. We have such a foggy situation, a murky story. Look how we've already run up there now. We ran there now. Now upstairs, guys, flesh colored, in the puddle where we have yellow, flesh added. Also added here too we should have a glow. Add it carefully just like that. At the bottom we will also have a kind of shop glow more here and we will make it. Such is its glow along the street with such intermittent movements. The glow will also go down the street. The glow that is, you can stretch this orange thing right down. Somewhere there is a flashlight or a window or a small sign. You can add something else. Light in the building, add to our mix, which is this gray. We will add white and draw a little bit of blue so that it is directly blue. Lighter a bit, this one. This one first, we make the boundary between our buildings light with it. We'll knead it in the same way, we'll do it the same way, stretch it the same way, but we'll only create it. And clouds, clouds, and perhaps rain. Everything here is more geometric, so let's first make the geometry of the building. Also make these sticks more dignified. That's it, guys. Please let it dry in our base for half an hour, and now we're going to draw whales. Guys, the foundation of my city has dried up. Let's start drawing. Kitty Atin, look at the composition. Make sure it's not leaning too far upwards, so there's air, which is crucial. Otherwise, it'll feel like you didn't calculate your object's distances right, and that shows unprofessionalism. We're smart. We know how the eye perceives, so we draw whales. There's obviously a bit of stress since our work is nearly done. Well, underpaint, but don't worry, we can handle anything. The main thing is to get it done now. Direction, let's draw it. Now I'm going to take dark blue and black, the guide. Let's draw our axis from where the whale is swimming. Let's hide it under this building. It will be more interesting, more difficult. You can draw slightly higher. Here we will have a tail. So now I'll lower it a bit. Also pure black, but here you can already turn it into white because it's not visible in black on the building. Let's go to the building. I bend, that is, the line leaves, does not continue, and the line bends, and this will be the whale's face. Here's its nose, like this. Let's draw it in white so it's visible. Here's the nose. So now look, guys. We cling from each point to some next. You know, as the saying goes, a monkey does not let go of his hand until he grabs another branch. That's how we are. We drew this white spot. Now with pure black paint, we make a whale smile on this spot. And from the smile, when it gets lighter for everyone, we slightly touch it. I'll use white paint to cover it, and then I'll use blue, gray, and white to draw the lower lip. Here's the lower lip. You can basically say it runs parallel to the body we drew in the top part, but it narrows towards the building. You can cover it like this. Step back about 1.5 inches and draw the curves of the fin's wrinkles. The flipper starts from here. It looks like an elbow here. It's really sharp. We're narrowing to the building. You can do it like this. Lighten it up top, let it be dark at the bottom, and imagine what happened to this. Yes, since it's pot-bellied, we can't draw with straight lines. For example, as I drew the muzzle here, I drew the underpainting here. but we need the belly to look like we're stroking it like this so that it has volume right away. Then there's detail and the effect that this is really some streamlined substance and some kind of creature. Now we did it. Now on the upper part of the guys, I want to add some glare like this. Here in the white one, as if the moon is shining in stripes, the sun. That's history, the story of the one who's looking. We also add highlights to our fins and put dots. These are the dots, our whale's bumps. Some are clearer, some are smaller, and we need to draw white on top of these pimples to give them volume. There are also pimples at the bottom, but at the bottom we will have white. Yes, because we can't see the black ones. Here and here you can also play with silver on the body. Leave some silver details. Here I'm just adding glare. I also left the silver ones. Now look at the fin, guys. It also has little bumps, dots. You can just put these black wrinkles near the fin with pure black. You can add here. Don't be afraid to draw with a purely contrasting color. This shows that you control it and you know how to work with it. Here's the fin here. A little bit of it bends like this. You can also put bubbles here, but only in black, and a little shadow on the inner fin like this, yes. And the lower part, I'll go straight black also, with stroking movements, streamlined. Now the tail. With the tail, with the fin of the tail, here's the story. Look, what? It's all white, but it can't be very white underwater. It will be so grayish. Here's a cloud. We remember, it's kind of abstract, yes. That's why here we have such a cloud that comes in a cloud foam, which also goes into the whale blubber. And you can stretch right here near the building, directly onto the whale, also with stroking movements. I'll leave just one, two would be too much. Take a good look at your work. If you want to darken something, go ahead, you know how to do it. If you want to lighten something, feel free to do so. You understand how it works. This is all part of the abstraction and the whole masterpiece. I'll happily observe your work. I'll look at it with pleasure. Please send it, tag me in it. I'll be very pleased. Trust me, all teachers feel happy. You feel happy too, right, when your child says something I don't know, like their first word, Mom? Similarly, I'll be happy if you show me your work. Have a great day. Stay in high spirits. Bye-bye.